Hello everybody and welcome back to the Integrity Botanicals YouTube channel. Today I am so pumped about the review I am bringing you because last minute, just to round off the end of the year, Fitglow hit us with, the most gorgeous launch, and you know what I'm talking about. It is the day palette and the night palette. These are little cardboard boxes they come in. You can see that they're really beautiful, high shine in this nice violet shade as opposed to that shocking pink that they typically use and that I love. But basically these are palettes that contain a full-size blush as well as 5 full-sized eyeshadows. One is in a day formulation, so meant to wear during the daytime, a little bit more of a subdued look. And then we have the night palette, which is a little bit more of your smoky options, a little bit more shimmers in there, just to kind of kick things up a notch. And I've been playing with these for quite some time now, just waiting for them to be released to you guys, and I am obsessed with them, to say the least, and I'm so excited to talk about them. So I briefly spoke about packaging, but let's just hit that real quick one more time. They look like this. The box mirrors what the actual package itself looks like. I love these because they're still very thin, as you can see, and compact. They're not overly wide, they're not overly thick at all. On the back has the full ingredients list. Unfortunately, only the box says the shades, but I think for the everyday consumer, that's not a problem. It's just a little bit more difficult for me to explain when I'm doing a tutorial. But you know, since there's so few products inside, I can always just point, do a close-up. Just something to keep in mind for you guys. It is only on the box, which I do not plan on keeping. When you open it up, we have this nice big mirror here. Sorry, mine is covered in fingerprints. But you can get like a nice view of your entire face. If you were to take this palette with you traveling, you can most definitely get ready in this mirror. And then what we're really after is just this beautiful setup. You have this huge blush, 5 gorgeous eyeshadows, and I think they make a perfect look. But we'll get there. How much do these palettes cost, might you ask? They are $69, which I think once you break down the cost of what's inside, I'm not gonna go out of my way and see like, oh my god, that's so cheap and affordable, but I think it's well worth it because the quality of these palettes, you guys, this is like something you would find at Sephora. I really don't think there's anything quite like this on the market, and how much I've been using them, I'm just like, yeah, I would buy it again if I were to run out of this palette, absolutely, which I don't think I will, but if I ever do, it's something I would definitely invest in because not only is it good quality, highly pigmented, blendable, beautiful makeup, as usual with the Fitglow beauty line, there's ingredients inside that help nourish the skin. So there's jojoba oil, which is in a lot of their products, which is naturally nourishing to the skin. There is also a plant collagen boost in here, and basically these shadows have ingredients and properties that are going to help collagen production on around your eyes, which is such a sensitive, delicate area that I'm so thrilled about. Something that performs so highly and then you get that added bonus. It's just extra, and I think it is so amazing, and Fitglow really has that skincare makeup fusion in their products that I adore. This is a all vegan product as well, I'm very happy to say, and they're free of silicones, nasty ingredients that could typically be in these things, and they are just fantastic, you guys. So I'm going to start off with the day palette. We'll talk through some swatches. I'll talk a little bit more about formulation, and I'm hoping in the new year I want to do a look dedicated to the day palette and a look dedicated to the night palette. So I'm not going to be doing a look today, but I will talk about what I have on my eyes because it is all these products today. So like I said, let's start with the day palette. All right, so the day palette, oddly enough, you guys, I think I prefer the day palette, which upon first looking at them, I wasn't really expecting, because you know I love me a good smoky eye, but a lot of these shades in here kind of just stole my heart, and they're perfect for everyday use. So let's start with this big, beautiful blush. This is in the shade Softness, and I am wearing this today. I think Softness is a great name because this is the perfect everyday blush. This is also a really nice blush, I think, for smoky eyes and stuff like that. It is a completely matte shade, very pigmented and very blendable, not overly pigmented where you're like, I need to go tap, because I don't like that. I think it's a little too high maintenance. It makes you scared to use it. This is like that perfect in between where it's so soft it just blends to perfection. It's so easy, and it's just the perfect peachy pink shade. It's just right there in the middle. It doesn't lean too warm or too cool, but gives you a little bit of rosiness to the cheeks, which I think makes you look more alive, and is just stunning. Really love that shade. Now, starting from the top with eyeshadows, we have the shade Coconut. Coconut is this matte you know, bone sort of shade that I love. However, it's very high in pigment. So this one would be great for sort of blocking out that crease. You can, of course, use it to blend out the brow. I think it might even be a little too pigmented for that. Just make sure you're using a light hand if that's what you want to use it for. What it would also be great for is a matte inner corner highlight because of the pigmentation of it, or to really accentuate that brow without any of that sort of 90s shimmer, because I do like a little shimmer here, but you have to be very, very mindful when you're doing so and tactful. Moving on to the next shade, this is Fawn. This is probably my favorite shade in the palette. I am wearing this on my eyelid today. You can see it picks up the light so beautifully. It's not overly metallic, but it has a little bit of a duochrome shift to it that's very subtle, so it doesn't make it a obnoxious shade for those of you who are more of the faint of heart and like a more natural shade. But like I said, it's very brightening. It's a peachy pink shade as well. Has a lot of warmth to it, this one, but I think it pairs so nicely on the eyelid, and that I said is probably my favorite shade and probably my most used. Then we have the shade Wise, another one of my most used shade. It is the perfect neutral matte brown. So I use this usually to start off a lot of the looks. This is also just great to throw in the crease. You could even do it all over your eyelid just for a quick wash of color. It's a great one for that. Then just getting a little bit deeper here, we have the shade Elm. And Elm is also a matte brown shade. However, it's much more cool toned and it is a little bit deeper. So I did take Wise through my crease today to start off the look. Then I deepened it up a little bit just on this outer V and pulled it in. Elm. Just for a little bit more definition. I didn't want it to be overly dark, but I did use a little bit of that to add some definition, as well as took it underneath the lash line today. And then finally we have the shade Storm, and Storm is the deepest. Again, a little bit more cool in tone, but it's not too gray, which that's what I like, because sometimes when I'm wearing too much cool tones on my eyes, I'm just like, no, it's not for me. You guys know I don't feel the most myself in cool tones, but I think it's because they get a little muddied. This one does not get that way at all. Though it is the deepest, it's not crazy pigmented, so you can add that outer V definition, use it as a liner, but it's gonna be much more faint and soft than a black or something like that, making it perfect, in my opinion, for the day palette. So that's the day palette. Again, probably my most worn. You are featuring many more matte shades in this palette than you are the night palette. So that's something to keep in mind. But what I honestly also love about these is that they have this little divot where you can remove product. So if you were to own both of these palettes, you can mix and match the palettes, which I think is so, so amazing. So like I would pop this in with the other shimmers. You can have an all shimmer palette. I mean, you could do whatever you want, mix up the blushes, especially if you're traveling. And I think it's I would personally say you need both. They're very different. You guys will see that as I get into the nighttime palette. Speaking of the nighttime palette, here she is in all her glory. Ha ha ha. Stunning, stunning, stunning. Though these are both very neutral palettes, you can tell they're definitely different. And you guys will see that when I swatch them. So let's start with this nice, big, beautiful blush. Again, this is in the shade Kind. Kind is still in that pinky sort of vein. This has a lot more mauve to it, and it is deeper. Absolutely. This doesn't really have any peach in it. This shade is just the perfect, I'm wearing a smoky eye, I need a little bit more color on the cheeks sort of shade. It's beautiful. And starting at the top, Fizz in the pan looks a little unassuming. It looks very much like coconut in the day palette. However, when you swatch it, is this beautiful, pigmented, like shiny, 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 like yellow champagne tone. So it has a lot of yellow to it. I am wearing an inner corner today. This is another one that looks great all over the lid. And to do that little kiss of highlight under the brow bone, like I talked about earlier in this video. Then onto our only matte shade in the palette. This is the shade Aspen. Aspen is again a beautiful neutral tone. I mean, maybe it leans a little bit more cool, but not overly cool. And this would be your transition shade in that palette. It is beautiful. It reminds me of Red Apple Lipstick Yes You Can, if you're familiar with that. It almost has a tint of pink to it, but that's perfect in the crease for adding a little bit of definition and a little bit of warmth. Then we have the shade Oak. The rest of the shades in this palette are shimmery, so this is the first of them. Oak of all of them is the most bronzy tone and the most warm. There is a hint of a little bit of glitter in there. It's not at all chunky, and it's not going to give you that very radiant look like aggressive cellophane or something like that. Another good one shadow smoky eye shade. Then we have the shade Rolo. Rolo is more cool tone, such a silky, gorgeous, shimmery shade. This is more of a taupey, plummy shade. It has a hint of purple to it, but it's not overly so. It still has quite a bit of brown to it, making it very, very wearable as well. I did take the tiniest bit of that with the last shade Carob, which I'll talk about in a second, mixed, just to sort of blend out some liner that I added to the bottom of my lash line and just accentuate the outer V. And that's my eye look done. So it was really easy, just dip, mix. They blend so easily. It took no time at all to do this look, maybe 10 minutes for the eyes. Then the final shade Carob that I just spoke about is of course the darkest in the palette. Again, a really great neutral tone. And this is just a dark, shimmery brown that doesn't lean too warm or too cool, making it very easy to work with and mix in with whatever look you're sort of going for. So that is these two palettes done. The variety is beautiful. The formulation, you guys, I really cannot say it enough. I'll have swatch photos down below so you can really see. They are so pigmented, yet creamy and blendable with very little kickback in the pan, which usually when you have shadows this pigmented and they're not pressed with any artificial silicones or things like that, they just have more kick up in the pan, which is something I honestly excuse, but sometimes you have to worry about blending because you can fluff it all over your face, or they become overly blendable where you have to keep reapplying the color. Not the case with these at all, you guys. They're beautiful, such a welcome addition to the green beauty scene. I'm hoping that seasonally they come out with more of these. I love that they are your skincare makeup in one and they perform beautifully. Speaking of beautiful performance, I'm also, if you're curious about what's wearing on my lips today, I'm wearing the lip color serum in the shade Deep. I don't know if they sell this one alone. They might sell one similar to it, but it is part of their holiday duo, which is another newer release from Fitglow. Highly recommend picking this up as well. This is my favorite lip item of the year, and I'll talk more about that come my New Year favorites and things like that, but just wanted to throw that out there because Fitglow, I think, is just my brand of the year. If you haven't tried them, this is the product to try. You have blushes, you have shadows. It's so easy, and I really think you guys are gonna get a ton of use out of them. I know they've already been selling like hotcakes before I got this video out. So if you have your palette already, let me know what you think. Let me know if you're more of a night palette person or a day palette person. I'd love to hear it. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe. That way you can see when I post tutorials using these palettes, you can see how to get the look and utilize these palettes in a variety of different ways because there's so many ways that you can use them truly and get a ton of use out of them. But that is it, you guys. Please make sure to check the description box down below for swatches, product links, and ingredients, as well as all of our social media. We are everywhere. But thank you as always for the love and support. I hope you guys are as excited about these palettes as I am. Thank you so much to Anna from Fitglow for letting me try these products out. I am your #1 fan and biggest supporter, I promise you. And thank you guys, of course, so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video very, very soon. Bye!